I'm slightly sick Hapu Fujoshi Gritiga, and welcome to Hot Dudes doing the absolute most the channel. Today I'm going to give a quick and dirty rundown of the BL hopefuls airing next in every season, each hand-picked morsel tailored specifically to your refined palate. Let's dig in. Isekai is getting a tasty twist this season in Wakashi na Tensei, the count 'em 5th reincarnated as a silver-haired twink I've spotted this year. Was a promising patissier that gets creamed before he can realize his culinary dreams of making the world's greatest pastry, even though the cronut was already invented like a decade ago. Naturally, he's given a second chance in another world. Our soft boy MC might be in a child's body, but he still retains his adult mind and knowledge, which of course he'll eventually use to rocket himself to future foodie success. But he's an adult mentally, so you'd expect him to be flanked by waifus in some way because Isekai is just animated wish fulfillment. But as per usual with my recommendations, he's clearly a daddy's boy. Can you blame him though? There's a bunch of fantasy RPG dudes, with the only adult woman in his life being set up as a villainess. So whatever unfamiliar hardships in the magical world he'll encounter, I expect his dad and some husbando will help him through it. It's always refreshing to see a protagonist that isn't a high school boy doing the very best he can. Helix stars a slab of beef whose hatred for humans prompts him to quit heroing and play for the other team as the new Demon King. While I'm spying with my Fujo eyes lots of hot fantasy dudes rounding out the cast, I'm putting this on the list for the raw bar energy of it all. Reign of the Seven Spellblades looks every bit like your standard sword boy in a magical high school plus obligatory harem anime, and maybe it is. But the fact that his squad appears to be an equal gender mix, and that this guy is the first of his friends to be introduced, makes me want to keep an eye on it. Now Ayaka's mood and all-male-led premise instantly piqued my Fujo interest. This anime original from Studio Blanc, whose work has already been featured on this channel a few times, stars soft boy orphan Yukito, who meets a strange man one day and is totally a friend of his father's and is just here to pick him up, I swear. He takes Yukito to a mysterious cluster of islands, where he'll work with 2 more hotties to protect the land from some assortment of supernatural oddities. Now they're already hitting the childhood besties trope, and I'm definitely not saying they're going to be bumming each other in the shower by episode 4. But long story short, it's very hard to ignore an all pretty boy cast and an MC with low-key daddy issues. I mean, you see the footage they're putting in these trailers. They knew who their target audience is. I'm not sure how it is I've not mentioned Baki on this channel yet, but this new season seems particularly unhinged. There's so much testosterone and masculine energy dripping from every frame in this show that it can't avoid the occasional dip into homoeroticism. And as with every previous season, I am here for it. Honestly, Beefcake must be trending this season because on top of this and Helic, 3 more of my shirtless Beefy Boy shows are getting new episodes this summer. Oh, we haven't seen a good BL cohabitation in a minute! Level 1 Demon Lord and One Room Hero is a wacky slice of life comedy in the same vein as The Great Jahi Will Not Be Defeated. One powerful Demon Lord gets his ass beat and is reincarnated into a small and decidedly underpowered body. And for some reason they, go to check on the fearsome hero that defeated them, only to find that he's let himself go a bit. Shenanigans ensue. Expect some gender-fluid, Ranma-esque sexual tension as Demon Lord uses his new body to make things very awkward. The busty demon bodyguard that followed him here is all that stands in the way of the 2 of them just living together in an otherwise beefy all-male cast. Okay, y'all are just f***ing with me now. Seija Muso Sarariman, or the Great Cleric, is a slightly different reincarnated as a silver-haired twink doing the best he can in another world. This one boasts the somewhat unique premise of the god of destiny losing a bet and having to pony up 10 souls, including our MC, who had just gotten that promotion of a lifetime when said life was cut short. Something about this reminds me of Dungeon of Black Company, where it's an isekai but on opposite day, and the perfectly happy MC is ripped from our world to suffer in a new one. Remember that? I compared the 2 because Seija Muso also skews more adult than the reincarnation isekai that have been airing lately. With all the main characters being working-age males, I'm already getting hits of frat boy, dude bro style shenanigans in that Grand Blue sort of way, but paired with the in another world with my 21st century business acumen premise, as the MC strives to be the bestest healer ever. This is a light novel adaptation from Studio Cloud Hearts, and they're such a new studio that the only other anime under their banner is a music-themed shoujo-ai that hasn't even aired yet, and the Iceblade Sorcerer, whose romantic moments I enjoyed earlier this year. TLDR, the studio doesn't shy away from same-sex jokes or romance, so I think the Great Cleric may be a safe bet. I had no idea the cutesy BL isekai of Fudanchi Shokan had so many episodes, but season 5 dropped in May to zero fanfare. For those unfamiliar, the Fudanchi meets up with Truck-kun and is whisked away to another world one day, and spends all of his time feebly resisting the Emperor who constantly throws heat at him. And mainly because he just doesn't want to be the bottom. Honestly, it's pretty funny.
Oh, no, 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 no.
When I heard about the manga for this some years ago, I thought this was a joke. But just to prove we live in the strangest timeline, this bat premise went the distance and got an anime adaptation. It'd be easy to write this off, but I think Reborn as a vending machine has some merit, as it certainly sidesteps the usual ecchi harem power fantasy ego stroking of typical of the genre, but while still providing that feeling of being desired somehow. How did this dude get reincarnated as a sentient snack dispenser? Don't worry about it. What matters is that the MC still manages to have waifus and dudes queuing up to drink from him, and is triggering a powerful need to watch this nonsense. The Shadowverse Flame sequel, Seven Shadows Hen, is bringing back my favorite card game, Battlership, from the original 2019 series, but now as older gay-coded villains for some reason. Not complaining, just saying. Summer will finally bless us with Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, which, guessing from this teaser, will feature the antics of the most eligible shonen on campus, 2006 era Gojo, and his on and off again bromance with future frenemy Geto. Can't wait! Now, Seokden New Saga is this somewhat tragic hero's redemption story. After losing everything and everyone he loves in the quest to kill the Demon Lord, the power of a mysterious gem sends Kyle back in time, effectively making Get Good New Saga the do-over anime of the season. I love that Kyle gets a second chance at happiness and all, but as a Fujo, my focus will probably be on his bottom bitch Sedan, the cute blonde bestie and sword twunk that he seems very chummy with in the light novel and the manga. If nothing else, he seems like part of Kyle's obligatory fantasy anime mixed gender harem. Now, poster hierarchy usually has the main waifu drawn the largest or placed the closest to the MC, but this season there's been a new trend of the cute bestie literally and maybe figuratively taking her spot, visually suggesting that the MC's relationship with other male characters will take priority even in a show with a heteros romantic subplot. I don't think that's an accident.
Kindly stop flirting with my boyfriend! This is your last warning.
Like, I'm looking forward to Zom 100, but I didn't think I'd have any reason to put that show on this list. Most of its key art features him and the scantily clad waifu as expected. But seeing this poster follow the new hot bestie first trend made me want to give it a second look. The basic premise is that tired, overworked, miserable MC only starts to live his best life after the world goes to during a zombie outbreak. Then I remembered, besides sports, war, space, and jail anime, the post-apocalypse is yet another time and place where BL has thrived before. So I get the feeling Zom 100 might be worth my future time. Despite the amount of fan art I drew for this in the early 2000s, the BL ships of Rurouni Kenshin were always subtle at best, usually leaning in favor of the Kenshin counter trade. But here's hoping the new adaptation will have at least as many BL breadcrumbs as the original. Netflix's Oku depicts a world where a plague flips gender roles in Japan, and the hottest remaining men become trophy husbands for the female shogun. Probably not BL, but this movie is absolutely still in the Fujo wheelhouse. The fan favorite Horimiya is getting an OVA, Horimiya Peace. I put this here because I'm always hopeful more of the BL from the original OVA will continue to bleed into this new adaptation, and all this footage is making me think it just might. And I don't know what it is about a half-naked man with a shoe-wheeled bird head that makes me think I should check out Shangri-La Frontier. There's just something about it. Can't quite put my finger on it. And that is it for me. Which of these are you most looking forward to? Are there any BL-friendly anime I've missed? Tell me and others about it in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and feel free to check out my BL Clips channel or my new anime reaction channel, link here and below. Bye for now.